Peace and love, blessed love. My name is King Solomon, and welcome to another episode of the Pet to Ma'atenra, where we're talking about everything righteous, bright, and beautiful, no matter how great, no matter how small. Yeah, man. I've been having some other regression things going on, you know, and I've been asking myself a lot about it, a whole lot about this regression that I've been feeling on a daily. And, you know, it's just that thing of just connecting to the Most High, and just understanding self. So, yeah, today I'm going to lay down a topic about Rastafari because that is my spirituality, something that I've been practicing for a long time. Since I was young, I was a Raz, I was a Bobo man since I was 20 years old. So, right now, I'm like 32 years old. I'm gonna turn 32 this year in earthly years. So, um, it's like 12 years. 12 years being a Bobo man, being a vegetarian, being a vegan, practicing the right way. But at the same time, I'd like to explain to everybody how this thing really feels. Because I've seen that a lot of people like to talk about Rastafari, you know. And since since they talk about it so much, um, have they experienced the awakening of Rastafari? Because Rastafari is also an awakening, you know. Rastafari is an awakening because Rastafari exists within us. It's not without. It's not something we invented. So basically, anything that exists without is something you invented, right? But Rastafari is not someone we invented, you know. Rastafari is not the God we invented, It's not a being we invented. It's not who we invented. But it's the being that has always been, from ancient of days, from beginning of time till now. Yeah, man. So, how do I start? Because I've seen a lot of people talk about it and not explaining it as an awakening, because right now I'm just going to expose a lot of chapters that I've written within my book, the Petuma Atenra. You see, because a lot of things that I'm going to lay down right now, they are written within my book, the Petuma Atenra. So let me lay down how it went, within Rastafari. So I'm going to start by how my journey started, and I'm going to cut the story short, and I'm going to try and make people understand that this is an awakening. Or Rastafari is Isthunywa. Isthunywa. You feel what I'm saying? Or Rastafari is Isthunywa. Is an awakening. Yavuselelwa. Or Rastafari. So, let me go into this power that I tapped into. So, when I was young, I was very, very well, how can I put it? A young child that liked things, but I didn't understand what I really like. I was questioning, but I liked what I liked. So I grew up. I met my cousin who was a Bobo man also, because within this path, I'm telling you, people fall within it. Just like any other part. It's just like any other part where people are awakening and fall. Rastafari, people fall. They fall here. We've got a whole lot of fallen angels. So how can I put it? He's my cousin, right? So he comes and he talks about Bobo Shanti and it starts teaching us about Rastafari, me and my brother. So we're holding a Sabbath, and he starts showing us this is Sabbath, and this is how it's kept and everything. So I'm starting to understand everything about Rastafari. As time goes by, I'm going to church. I'm attending church, and I'm a person that's in church 24/7 much, and I'm holding Sabbath now, and I'm keeping everything. But, there has to be a deeper understanding in this thing, because at the end of the day, when we're talking about Rastafari, we like to talk about meditation. We like to say meditation, you know. But a lot of them, they like to talk about meditation being like you being high on weed, and that's about it, you know. And it's all about fun. You feel what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, as time went by, I started to understand Rastafari. That it's not all about fun and games. When we're talking about meditation, we were really talking about meditation. We were talking about opening your chakras and everything. These things, they were not jokes. They were not jokes. Like as time went by, I awakened. But because people deny Rastafari, I also ended up denying Rastafari within me. You feel what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, what happens when you are awakening and you deny your awakening? You end up becoming sick. So I ended up being sick for many years. I end up, try to talk to the family, you know, and I'm like, yo, I'm very sick. Family does not get what's going on with me, you know. And I'm like, yo, I'm sick, you know. And one day, my brother also falls sick, you know, because he was bewitched. Then he pulls up at home with some sangoma. This sangoma, you know, goes like, oh, they can heal me where I am. Because where I am, I was not accepting the calling. Honestly speaking, Rastafari was the calling, and me, I was like in denial. I had this mentality that it's something that's out here, it's not within. You feel what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I ended up being this person that was in denial of Isthunywa saka, being in denial of his awakening for many years. Even if you see videos here on the Petuma Atenra, in the past I was very in denial. The Petuma Atenra is like 4 years old, I'm sure. So at the end of the day, you'll see videos where you'll even see that there is parts where I was in denial of my own awakening. Because at the end of the day, here's the thing that we try to destroy. Actually, my ancestor just spoke there, you know. Isthunywa just spoke there. The spirit just spoke there. It just told you, here's something we try to destroy. You feel what I'm saying? They try to destroy Inkani. I don't know when you're hard-headed in English, what is Inkani? You know, but when you're hard-headed, it won't work against Isthunywa. It won't work when you are trying to awaken your guardian angels, when you are trying to awaken your being. You feel what I'm saying, your higher self. If you are in denial of that thing, it's because you have this thing, you are hard-headed. And you have things, this is the second one and the last one. You have things that you believe, and those things don't really exist. They don't really matter. And they won't benefit you spiritually, they won't connect you to your higher self, and they won't connect you to anything. You feel what I'm saying? So, at the same time I was in denial, I had Inkani, I was hard-headed. And I was also, you know, telling myself that this is wrong, this is right. You feel what I'm saying? But only Rastafari could judge for me, because Rastafari is the judge. You feel what I'm saying? So, what happened? I'm falling sick. The sangoma pulls up, you know, and she's like to me, you know, why you smoke weed, you know, and now I don't understand myself anymore now. Something is wrong with me. You feel what I'm saying? Because now I'm not awakening Rastafari anymore. So at the end of the day, since I'm in denial of Rastafari, I just take Rastafari as Haile Selassie. Marcus Garvey. Hey, that's the end. No, it was deeper. It was just really deep. So deep, I could have died. I could have died. Just because I was so in denial of who I am. You feel what I'm saying? When they say Jah, they say I am. You feel what I'm saying? The reason, I'm supposed to be continuing from this Sangoma basically. So this Sangoma pulls up, so we go to this Sangoma's place, where I also learned that certain medicines can blind you. They can blind your pineal gland, you feel? So we go there with the family, and I'm sick, and I'm there, and I'm like, try to help. This woman is like, I'm going to help you, but you're going to have to cut your lock and all that. You know what I'm saying? Okay, now, you want me to cut my lock. And this is a Sangoma. You feel what I'm saying? It's not a Rastafari or anybody that knows Rastafari. So she's like to me, let me cut that lock. You feel? Because this thing is like inside. And I'm like, whoa. I can't see anything. I can't breathe. Where I was, I am seeing where in the space that I'm in now that, certain herbs were used against you. You were bewitched in order for you to do what you did. Because, let me tell you, if you try to close the awakening, like okay, let me just say, if you are in denial of the awakening, it's like taking a cloth or a pillow and putting it over yourself. That's what happens. And when you are in denial of it, that's what happens basically. You are killing yourself. You are dying slowly. You feel what I'm saying? So I was dying slowly. I was really dying slowly. And at the same time, I had to get used to these things, But, as I was sick, I was really, really sick. She cuts off my hair because I allowed that. But at the same time, I didn't allow it in a way. It's the herbs that made me agree. It was the witchcraft that was in there. You feel what I'm saying? Because I could hear voices trying to talk to me, trying to reach me after that. You feel? But I was far too gone. Because I never had people that supported me. And people don't love Rastafari. There's Isthunywa, people don't like it. People will try to kill it because that's what they try to do to me. They try to take it away from me. But Rastafari held me close. I was like, nah, this is my child. I can never let go of my child. You feel what I'm saying? So as time went by, I started to remember. Because certain visions started to appear. But now I'm bald. I have a bald head. I'm smoking ganja. And this Sangoma was like, don't smoke ganja. And as I'm smoking ganja, things are popping. I'm falling sick even worse than I was before. But now, it's like things are coming out. And now it's like I was carrying certain spirits. I wasn't carrying Rastafari anymore. And I was still in denial of Rastafari. As time went by, I cleared these spirits. And as time went by, certain powers started to develop because now I'm starting to accept Rastafari now. Now I'm starting to play the music now. You feel? Now I'm starting to accept that nobody can understand him. Not nobody can understand him. Not nobody can overstand Rastafari. You feel what I'm saying? I started to understand that no, nobody will get me. Nobody. Except for Rastafari. Whoever has this spirit, yeah, will acknowledge me because we've got the same spirit. You're Ras, I'm Ras. Hey creator, hey creator. You feel what I'm saying? We are one. Now I'm going to go enter deep again. That I started to experience a locking of chakras now. Now my third eye started to open and I started to see bliss in another level. I started to see things. I won't even say much. I started to astral project. I started going into trance. All the work of Rastafari. Didn't drink blood. I didn't slaughter any animal. I awakened. Saw myself saying, boy. Yeah, Rastafari. Oh, that was cool. You feel what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I started chasing after my ancestors too, by the way. But without Isthunywa, the awakening, your higher self, you can't be talking to ancestors. You can't be. It's really weird like that. Because if you are talking to ancestors, you are awakened. You feel what I'm saying? You are awakened. And they don't talk to somebody unless that person is a vessel. You feel what I'm saying? So me, believe you on me. The spirit awakened. And I started seeing things. I started understanding things far beyond. You feel what I'm saying? As time goes by, go watch the Petuma Aten Ra and see the things I started to understand as time went by. And all the work of Rastafari. People were telling me that there's no Isthunywa saka Rastafari. People were making me become in denial. Nobody was supporting this, so nobody was telling me that you have the spirit of Rastafari walking with you. You have the higher self when walking with you, man. You have light walking with you. You have Ra walking with you. Because we are the children of Ra. Rastafari. The head creator of all this creation. You feel what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, what I'm hearing from people is not the way it is. It's not really about reggae. I started on reggae. But as I went in, I found out that Rasis listen to drum. You feel what I'm saying? They listen to the drum. We listen to the drum. We play drums. We play a shaker. And that's how you awaken. Then from there, I started to see things that they say are Christian. But these things are not Christian only. They are used as tools. Tools to protect ourselves. Because at the end of the day, we're using these things like, how can I put it? Things that help us protect ourselves, basically, And we start to attract things, law of attraction, all these things. We read psalms because of that. We sing hymns because at the end of the day, Hymns are things that cool the spirit. You feel what I'm saying? Isthunywa doesn't care what song you sing, just as long as it's good and it's coming to the spirit. That's good. You feel what I'm saying? So, you trying to tell us, Rastafari, that we are Christian, that's off. That's off. We're only using things as tools. And whatever we are using, whatever we are doing it because it's necessary. There's nothing we are doing that's not unnecessary. Actually, that's, yeah. You know? Yeah. Everything that we are doing is necessary. For humanity, for self. You feel what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, we've got this mentality, and I've seen people around that they've got this mentality, that they can talk about Rastafari and not experience the awakening of Rastafari. You feel what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, I use my hands to heal people. That's why I don't want to touch people. That's why at the end of the day, you don't see me with people, because people have this mentality that, I know he has to touch me because it's just a human at the end of the day. No. I'm carrying higher beings within the man. So at the end of the day, I have to respect myself, because people have died for this. And at the end of the day, I've regressed enough to even see myself within war. Even in a peshu, even in a robe, I've been in a war. Spiritual, in the past, ancestrally, I've seen myself. You feel what I'm saying? So if they're going to come and ask me, hey, Rastafari, it's not Bantu, they never fought in the war. We fought in the war. Even if you go and check His Majesty, Majesty was fighting wars against the Boer, against these people that were trying to take the land, against the Italians. You feel what I'm saying? And we out here, they are sending people to talk badly about my people. We are the greatest healers, if you all knew. The greatest. And the problem is, nobody is awakening us. Nobody is awakening our spirits. And me, I'm going to tell everybody who wants to be a Rastafari that here is a calling. You just don't become a Ras. It's a real calling. Jah knows his children. Jah chose his children. And he chose the children he appears to. Because I've seen things I cannot even talk about. You feel what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, they are there. Rastafari is real. It's not a joke. It is really spiritual. For sure. It's not the marijuana. That just deepens everything. You feel what I'm saying? But as I'm practicing trance, as I'm practicing astral projection, as I'm practicing Rastafari, calling upon his name, I started to realize that this is my healing. This is how I heal. A lot of things that were making me sick. But at the end of the day, Rastafari, when I started to call upon his name, when I started to pray, and started to call upon igama lakamvelingane nonomkhubulwane, I started to become stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger, and I started to realize, every part and inch of my body is Rastafari. And at the end of the day, this is how my body corresponds. These things, they are deep. This is going back to my body, going back to my spirit, going back to my liver, my kidneys, and everything. But no, this is necessary, because this is how everything is moving, it's progressing, it's ever living. So at the end of the day, I'm like, okay, yeah, we read Bible, and as I said, the Bible is a tool. You feel what I'm saying? Just like marijuana is a tool. Marijuana is not our God, it's a tool. But marijuana is a God. That's why they call it Shiva in India. You feel what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it enhances that connection between you and God. You feel what I'm saying? You hear yourself talking to God, talking to pure spirits, because it enhances that thing of you hearing demons, you hearing whatever. So don't let people lie to you. If you want to practice trance, smoke marijuana. You can detox marijuana if you want to. As time goes by, if you want to. So me, I'm tired of people thinking that we are just a reggae listening people and we are just getting high on marijuana. We are people that pray, sakulega. We are a people that meditate. We are a people that open chakras. We connect to Mura. And at the end of the day, we connect to the universe and everything that came before. Because at the end of the day, we are the universe. We are Ra. And we know ourselves, who we are. That's why we say Jah. Because Jah means I am. Even if you go check in the Bible, they go like I am. That I am. Jehovah. So Jah means I am. You feel what I'm saying? So all these lies that y'all have been hearing about Rastafari, hey, I'm finishing every propaganda today. I'm finishing everything. Everything is a lie. It's a lie. It ain't really something that's not spiritual. It is spiritual. It is an awakening. It is serious. It is something that awakens within you. Now see the spirits are called. Now you even burn, bro. And after that, you even hear yourself going, Holy Emmanuel, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari, because you are Jah. You feel what I'm saying? Even if people go and check on the words, man. The words. When we're saying Holy Emmanuel, Selassie, we are saying God bless the Trinity. The Trinity is holy. And we're calling upon the Holy Trinity. Who is the Trinity? You are the Trinity. You are Holy Emmanuel. You are Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. So when we are talking about man, we are talking about awakening the Christ in man, the God in man. So that man can understand himself even better. So that woman can understand herself even better. That she's a goddess and man is a god. You see what I'm saying? All these things of looking down on my kingdom is the end. That's what the Spirit says. Is the end. You people talking propaganda about this kingdom, y'all are lying. Rastafari is serious. Rastafari is about repatriation. So don't think that I have not regressed myself enough to even see myself being stabbed by a white man, being shot by a white man, because I've seen that. I've seen that. It's not nice. Regression is not nice. Regression is not nice. And out here, I'm busy seeing people trying to stop others for fighting for land, because at the end of the day, for fighting for land, because at the end of the day, for fighting for land, because at the end of the day, they think that I was not brutalized and hurt by white people. Bro, I experienced white people. I went to a white school. I was sent to Iskolos. I'm a slow learner. I was told I was a slow learner. If you knew that I read books, I even helped children within the school that I was in, slow learner school. I was helping slow learners. I didn't even study in order to write exams. Just to prove to you that I was being sabotaged because of the way I am. White people will sabotage you. And if they see the spirit of Rastafari within you, they will sabotage you. A lot of children out here are being sabotaged. Even my brother who taught me, Uchatabo, who taught me, and the honorable priest, who's a high priest in the spiritual realm, he taught me that. He was even in a slow learner school himself. He was even sent to a slow learner school. He was told he was a slow learner. But he was the most intellectual person I've ever met. The most intellectual. God bless his soul. So at the end of the day, I'm like, why the heck are you talking about like Rastafari is a dumb individual? Like, we are not dumb. We are not stupid. And again, we don't promote gayism and, lesbianism. So at the end of the day, I've been seeing a lot of gays and lesbians here trying to claim Rastafari. No, that's not the spirit. I'm sorry. That's not the spirit. This is a real spirit. It exists. Even if you go to the altars, even if you go to the mountains, it exists. And again, we are going to continue fighting for land because we've regressed enough to understand that we need to repatriate our brothers who are all over the world. Number one. Number two, I've got land. But at the end of the day, it's just a hectare. It's just 1 hectare. So at the end of the day, we're still fighting for more. And number three, I did plant on my land. I've got abundant lemon. I've got abundant orange. I've got abundant, umoba. I've got abundant a lot of things. I've got friends who've got lands, who have farms, who are farming, who are doing things with their lives. Pardon me. You see? So at the end of the day, don't think we are lazy here. Rastafari is serious here. And whoever wants to come and challenge me, you can come. Me, I tell you, this is not something I read on a book. This is serious. I experience Rastafari. I experience Rastafari every day. And Rastafari is in control of me. It's so in control to the extent where, I even see that he's in control. I move without even acknowledging that I'm moving. And when I move, I see that, no, I was actually being saved from something. That's when you see that you've got the spirit of Rastafari. But this is the path to Ma'atenra. Yeah, man, we shall fight for this land. And we shall fight for Rastafari. We will not stop until we have repatriated, until freedom has come for one and all. Redemption and repatriation. To one and all, I'm telling you, at home and abroad, peace and love. Reparation is a must.